attention to this thing. I never really paid. We be live and I have no clue that we be live at this time. Like now, probably.
We are.
But that's only because it takes me a while to find it. Like, I found it. Haha. What's going on, Facebook family? We are live in the studio. We got a special guest sitting next to me on my right. I got my beautiful bride to my left. I need to make this thing public so that way you all can share, because sharing is caring. I know that my guest next to me is streaming live on hers as well. Got Miss Natasha Oates, good friend of the show.
Hello.
And
I knew I was forgetting something.
good evening, good afternoon, good night, and good morning.
Hello, everybody.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. The Ty and Cody on Purpose Show is live in the studio. Welcome back. Oh man, speaking of back, I'm missing my bell today. Cody, that's why you tricked me. No, you tricked me. You went into the office. Because usually I go into the office and grab the bell, and today I just realized I was getting ready to ding and I don't have my bell.
He said I was getting ready to ding. I ain't got it.
That's alright. We still got a great show regardless of the fact that I don't have my bell. Y'all know what it is. It is the Ty and Cody on Purpose Show. We are live here in the studio. 803-692-6370 is the number here. We have a great show. For those who are on Facebook, you all can see us live. Y'all, you know what I say before we go on air. Sharing is caring. Share this video with your family. Share this video with your friends. Just share, sharing alike and sharing alike. We have a great show for y'all today. Always have to give a shout out to my A1s from Day Ones, our Tune In family, and our WBND Nation family. Thank y'all for tuning in, because without y'all, we couldn't do it. Y'all know I love my Facebook, my Twitter, and my Instagram family, because y'all chat with us throughout the show, because we read you all's actual messages and texts and posts and all that good stuff all day, every day, especially throughout the show. And y'all always have me cracking up laughing. And speaking of which, I already see a couple of y'all tuning in, our regulars tuning in. Miss Crystal, what's going on? Nicole, what's going on, all of y'all? Don't forget to share the video, share it with your family, share it with your friends. Today we are talking about careers and relationships, and because we are doing that, we have a special guest who decided to sit in with us during the crazy part of the show. Y'all know the first part is the crazy part of the show. We have a wife.
It's the fun part of the show.
It is. She is a wife, a mother, a speaker, an entrepreneur, a relationship coach, and a licensed therapist. I stole that off of her Facebook page, y'all. We have friend of the show, Miss Natasha Oates, y'all. She is sitting to my right. Welcome back, Miss Natasha.
Thank you.
How bees it? How bees
It
it?
bees good.
It bees good.
In the
Yeah.
hood.
There's a little bit of ignorance to this show, Natasha, if you have not already known already. Sometimes we like to act a little crazy, so we just like to, get it in. So I know you got your followers watching this on Facebook as well. What's going on, Natasha's people?
Hey, Natasha people.
So we like to have, what's going on, Leon? We got Leon tuning in, Church Boy tuned in, Crystal, Moses. Oh wait, go across for me. My bad. I'm just reading names off the screen. What's going, y'all? We have another great show. Again, we are talking about relationships and careers. Y'all know how I do. I always post stuff on Instagram, on Facebook, and Twitter that has to do usually with whatever we're talking about for the week. And so our question for the week was, can your career affect your marriage or relationship? Y'all ponder on that one for a quick moment while we get to our normal goody goods, because we got a lot to talk about. A lot has happened over the past week and this weekend, but I do want you all to ponder about that, and we want to hear your thoughts, your suggestions, and your own personal stories.
Oh, yeah.
Can your career affect your relationship and or marriage?
Well.
Yes. Sound like somebody ready to go to church up in here.
Yes. Oh, yes. Because it's that serious.
It is that serious. 803-692-6370 is the number here in the studio. For those who are just tuning in, and for those who are new to the family, you have tuned in to the Ty and Cody on Purpose Show on WBND Radio and Facebook Live. But it is about that time where we usually do our marriage joke of the week. Howsoever, Last time I tried to do this, I got cut off, and it was a couple weeks ago. And that's because Cody had a top 10. And I think for the month of February, Cody going to have a couple top 10s for us because there are some good stuff that she has been spitting out the top of her head.
Yes, indeed. And this week, I definitely want to share, I guess, my top 10 Black inventors.
Yeah, it is Black History Month, so why not share the Black
And not necessarily
inventors.
just for Black History Month, because we make history every day.
Got that right.
Right?
Every day I wake up, I make history.
But I've been on this journey just to find out more information about us, especially those names that we particularly have never heard of.
Right.
You know, we're used to hearing some of the usual Carvers and, you know, Douglas and all that. But I want to introduce us, and maybe some of you already know them, and then maybe they're just new to me. But I think it's important for us to dig more into our history and figure out, you know, some of the great inventions that we've come up with.
Come on, big.
Absolutely
Right.
nothing wrong with that.
So my first one is Dr. Patricia Bath, who invented the laser phacophobe, which is a tool that corrects cataracts during eye surgery.
Oh,
Wow.
because I was about to say, what is a phacophobe? I thought you'd get ready to cuss for a second. So
You
a
would say
phacophobe.
that.
See, that's why I made my bell. A phacophobe. Okay. So it corrects cataract in your eyes with the, okay. Cool beans.
During laser surgery.
Cool beans.
And that is, I had never heard of her name before. Right? So, and actually she is still alive today and does a lot of consulting and
Oh,
all
wow. Hey,
That's what's
huh?
up.
So, yeah.
So for those who have cataract issues, can they go check her out? No, I'm serious. So like y'all, well, y'all don't know, but like my mother, she's legally blind. She has glaucoma and she's had cataract surgery and all that stuff. So I wonder if she does like personal consults. Can say, hey, you got to be the inventor of something that helps your cataracts. Man, she probably got booked for the next 5-10 years.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I always wanted to interview an inventor to see where their thought came from. Like, where did you come up with the idea? How did you figure this was possible? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 2, Marie Van Brittan Brown invented the first closed circuit TV security system in 1966.
come on.
Cool beans. Okay.
And mind you, these are black women, which also, you know,
She got tired of them other girls trying to steal her man. She's like, look, I'm about to set up the camera up here. I'm a Jimmy
So-
rig this camera up in here.
You know what? That sounds about right.
Listen, just saying.
That sounds about right.
If she want to deny, she can call me and I interview her. Why'd you really come up with that concept?
Thomas Elkins actually created the modern toilet that we have today back in 1872.
Come on, Thomas.
Double outhouses.
Right.
Right.
I'm glad you said that, right? Because if you think about it, the progression was made by us because we were the ones who were doing the hard labor or had the not so fancy accommodations, right? So we use our brilliant minds to figure out, okay, how can I make this better for ourselves?
Come on, that's what we do. Son.
Makes sense.
We innovators.
We
All
are.
day, every day. Daniel Hale Williams, number 4, is a pioneer of open heart surgery back in 1891.
Listen.
Which I would like to know if, what's the most current guy? I can't remember his name today. He's actually part of the administration, but he's not head of.
Oh yeah, he's head of like urban
Urban
housing.
development.
Oh, you talking about
Y'all have to
yeah, oh boy, yeah, y'all tell I can't remember his name either. He's from Baltimore.
I see his face.
Oh,
Ben
boy.
Carson, not Ben Carson. Yeah, Ben Carson.
Carson.
Yeah, Uncle Ben.
I
Yeah.
wonder if he's done any. It's not Uncle Ben, but I know what you're going.
Thank you, Crystal. Crystal gave it to us through
I
Carson.
wonder if he's done any research on Daniel Williams. Number 5, Dr. Shirley Jackson invented the touch-tone telephone, the portable fax, caller ID, call waiting, and fiber optic cable.
So is he why my
She
I can't get Google Fiber in my section of the town because we need faster internet.
I don't
need to
have
holler
the
at
year
her.
on this though, but I'll get back. I'll have to figure that one out.
I need to holler at her. I need faster internet.
And this is for the kids and the kids at heart. Number 6, Lonnie Johnson. He invented the Super Soaker.
Yeah.
And I remember reading about him a few years back where it actually took him about 20 years to come up with the final product.
Wow.
Talk about dedication, right?
I'm a little bitter, man.
But a lot of fun.
Why are
too.
you bitter?
I'm bitter. I can't help it, man. I go through my little spouts. But tonight, I'm listening to this invention story.
Yeah.
And all that's great. But I'm curious on who's getting them checks.
Yeah.
I'm curious on why our face is in on a lot of these boxes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, America. Like, let's just be real. And that's why I like y'all show, because y'all allow me to be who I am. 'Cause I don't sugarcoat nothing.
Pause, wait time. Don't get yourself in trouble. We had this conversation last week on how you always come in here blaming Cody and I about how you got to go home and your wife has you sleeping on the couch.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute.
I love y'all.
He put his own business out here because she came in here last week and bought custom out on air.
Thank you, God.
Number 7, Cody.
Yes, indeed. Thanks.
Lisa Jalopter, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right,
Come on, Jalopy.
was integrally involved with the invention of the shockwave, a technology that formed the beginning of web animation.
Oh, the shockwave players. For those who are in tech, it's I think Adobe
Adobe
must have
Flash
bought it from
almost.
her. Yeah, Adobe must have bought it from her or took the license because sometimes they take stuff.
Shockwave died pretty quick.
It lasted a few years. And I think they built
Flash,
onto it.
right?
But if she, with Flash, so if she actually, right, to your point earlier, who's getting credit because if she invented it, then
Well, she's still around because
Okay.
she's also played a major role in the emergency of online video. Later
This is
serving
crazy.
on the senior management team at Hulu, which is this video streaming service we use today. And previously, Lisa was the interim head of digital for BET Networks and ran technology, product, and business operations.
They're doing this.
And today, you can catch Lisa at the White House in the United States Digital Service.
Okay,
What
so
up,
she got
Lisa?
clubs. Listen,
yeah,
get your
yeah,
clubs,
yeah.
girl.
She doing her thing.
Don't
That's
sell
what's
out.
up, Lisa.
Number 8, Mary Davidson invented the walker and the toilet tissue holder.
Okay.
That's what's up.
But I mean, it's just amazing. All these names and the things that we use on a daily basis. And we have no idea that, you know.
And I noticed you said a lot of black women too.
Yeah.
Like that's listen, I'm a listener. And this stands out to me because it lets us know, I gotta go there again. It lets us know that our black women are smarter than we give them credit for. Because what happens is whenever you get this negative connotation over a demographic, is to either shame them, is to degrade them, and is to get them portrayed a certain way. But if you get our people in a certain area and we start talking, watch what happens. Things start shaking. But when you keep moving,
I mean, you're just describing Black Wall Street. That's all you're describing.
thank you. See, I told
That's for another
you,
show.
another whole show. See,
Number 9, Mr. Garrett Morgan, which I think some of us are familiar with his name, inventor of the gas mask, and the traffic signal that we use today.
come on.
That most of y'all run on a daily basis.
And last but not least, number 10, Miss Sarah Boone, back in 1892, invented the modern day ironing board.
That is what's up.
And I still use my ironing board to this day.
I hope so.
I do. Yeah, I use the ironing board.
Heck yeah.
About every
I used to iron on the floor.
almost every day
And I
on the
was like, you know
floor.
what? I need an ironing board.
You know, people actually put the towel down. They get on the bed. They put the towel on the bed. They start ironing. Why not use the ironing board?
I never thought about it.
What's
And the purpose of her inventing it was so that, you know, back in the day, most of our women just wore dresses all the time. And it made it more convenient to, you know, iron the sleeves of a dress or the full body of the dress, and then having the collapsible legs. All of that is from her.
Gosh.
Y'all been schooled tonight. Y'all better enjoy this.
So did she create that small little trigger that you can't never find up under the ironing board that you always got to be like, where is it to collapse this thing? Like, how do you collapse? Like, so we need to figure out who invented that so we can have a redesign that you can make it a little bit bigger or
remote
somewhere
control.
where we can, or thank you, a remote control or something.
You gonna spend $50 for an ironing board?
With the TV on it.
Right.
But no, now they got the one where you don't know if y'all ever seen. I'm big in technology, but they got the one where you can actually stick your clothes in the machine. It actually goes in, presses it, and then folds it for you. Yeah, I've seen it. For those who are on Facebook, I'm pretty sure y'all have seen the commercials and whatnot. And yeah, and I think it's surprisingly it's only a couple $100. I would have thought it'd been several $1,000s. But when I saw the price point for it, I was like,
it takes too much space.
it is. It's pretty big. It's pretty big, and because you stick your clothes in.
And the amount of time you have to take to put the shirts on the machine for it to actually fold, I would have folded it.
I want the one built into the wall where I press a button and it comes down. And
like
all.
the Jetsons.
Mrs. Jetson.
I'm about to say, like the Jetsons. You want Rosie as your from people don't.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Thank you, Cody. Was that your top 10?
That was my top 10.
That was Cody's top 10. I don't have the bell, but I would give.
She get the hand
She get the hand claps. Go ahead and give her the hand claps to Mr. Entertainment since I ain't got the bell today. Thank you. Yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
She gets the hand claps. That was Cody's
I have
top
a little
10.
comment.
Okay.
A lot of those folks were in a lot of they experienced a lot of barriers.
Absolutely.
And we don't experience those same barriers, but I feel like we're fearful of launching and, pursuing inventions and the different things that we have on the inside of us. So I think we can take a lot from this list of people.
You're right.
I think so too, and I think also what has forced us, I won't say forced, we've chosen to allow to take up our space is technology, TV. Back then, they didn't have much entertainment to keep them occupied, right? We spent a lot of idle time and wasting away of our imagination, our creativity, by sitting in front of the idiot tube. But that's just my opinion.
No, you hit that.
Very true. So that makes I won't be talking about the TV later on this episode of the Ty and Cody on Purpose show because I watch TV.
But that's good. The more your brain is watching, the less you're thinking.
That is true. That is true.
So I didn't think about it till you said it. Sure.
Well, y'all, it is time to get into our national days and so forth because we still got a bunch of stuff to talk about. It is Cody actually just covered a very good one, and we talked about it last week because it is February the 5th. Yes, February 5th.
Monday.
So it is Monday, February 5th, and it is Black History Month, y'all. So I am so glad that Cody was able to cover her top 10 of Black unknown inventors, especially the ones females, because like you said, they don't get as much credit as they deserve. But it is also Creative Romance Month. Yes, Creative Romance Month.
Is that because
I'm
of
slow.
Valentine's Day?
I didn't know what that means, so I can get me what I need.
Yeah, create. So you be creative. That creative thoughts you was just talking about, instead of sitting in front of the quote unquote idiot box or idiot tube, you use that creativity to get you some romance. That's my definition.
For example, I think we should go on top of the refrigerator or something.
Why the refrigerator?
I mean, I'm just
And do what?
Right.
because when it get hot, you gotta cool off.
In the
You
refrigerator.
know what?
On the refrigerator.
All right. I was gonna say that's pretty high up. You know, you doing some acrobatics, jumping off stuff. Don't go ahead and get hurt and mess right in the hospital.
We go
Whatever
rock.
works for you.
We go rock climbing.
Do it.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat. Just be creative
Be
with
creative,
it, because it is
okay.
Creative Romance Month. Romance, not necessarily Creative Sex Month, but it is Creative Romance.
Oh, no, Ty, you can't do that.
See, because in my opinion, it could go hand in hand because you got to be romance to be able to get to them draws to get the sex. So you got to get the romance going
But you can't
first.
say that because we had him on the hook. Like everybody's like, yes. And then you was like, don't mean you getting. I'm like, wait a minute. My wife was like, it's romance month.
Mr. Entertainment, I've learned the way some of these women work. You got to romance them first, and then you can get them draws.
Oh, that's right. Don't mean y'all getting them. Hey, but when the temperature go up, it's gotta cool off.
Rising. Yes, and then after you get your Creative Romance on, you can get. It is also National Hot Breakfast Month. National Hot Breakfast Month. I guess in comparison to Cold Breakfast Month, it is Hot Breakfast Month. Yeah, so you got your eggs, your grits, your bacon, your pancakes, all that good
I
stuff.
would really
in
like to
comparison to
know
cereal.
how many families truly eat a hot breakfast, a hot, healthy breakfast nowadays.
Not every day, but we do it every Sunday like clockwork.
Every Sunday?
Yo, every Sunday.
Good
That's
deal.
that's our tradition. Is
Okay.
grits, eggs, toast, bacon, sauce. Pork eaters, but still. No, turkey bacon, turkey sausage. That's what it was.
Whatever floats your boat, homie. I'm with the turkey products too.
But I'm a cereal eater, so to that point, that's cold breakfast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It ain't Cold Breakfast Month. It's Hot Breakfast Month. Look, I don't make these things up, people. It is, oh, this is actually one that we don't have on the screen. National, and I meant to tell you this one. National Shower with a Friend Day is today.
Oh, nah.
Cody, we shower when we get home, baby. National Shower with a Friend Day. You were talking about getting creative romance. You talking about being on top of a refrigerator. Why not be creative and get in the shower?
I'm glad she's not here. True story.
Uh-oh. See? And this is why I say he gets himself in trouble.
I didn't know this, right?
Okay.
When I first met my wife, we had got the hotel room when we first decided to have fun or whatever, and she's in the shower. I'm thinking, you know what? Time to get in. So I get all my clothes off and jump in. How about she kicks me out? like, bruh, like you in my space. I was like, dang.
Yeah, a lot of women don't like, you have to check with them first.
You needed the hot water.
But to that point, do we do that? Or, you know what I'm saying?
Check with them first, bruh. Check with them first. Babe, I'm about to jump in the shower. When she say no, you best to, then you back up off.
Just wait
just wait till she get out and just admire her as the nice water be glistening all over her body. Okay. Exactly.
I always get the cold water because somehow hot water don't last when I get in. My babe, you getting in? I'm like, it's cold.
Wait.
The hot water.
Wait. That's only because I shower first, but my showers aren't that long in comparison to some people I know.
Until the hot water run out, right?
You know what? Hey, first come, first serve. National Fettuccine Alfredo Day is on the 7th. I had to throw that one in there because our daughter's one of her favorite foods is fettuccine Alfredo. So I had to make some shrimp Alfredo before I came into building today. Somebody was asking me what I cooked for dinner today, and that's exactly what I cooked. Shrimp Alfredo. It is National Fettuccine Alfredo Day on the 7th. Here's one that we actually don't do quite enough, in my personal opinion. National Send a Card to a Friend Day is also on the 7th.
I like that.
Do we still send cards? And
You do.
Yeah, I do. That's because I like cards. But do we still send cards to people? Or do we just text people and say, hey, happy birthday, hey, I love you.
Or the e-card
hey,
or whatever.
E-cards. We don't do e-cards. Cody and I used to do e-cards all the time. But we don't do e-cards anymore. You do?
I used to, but no.
Yeah.
It was like 10 years ago.
You still do the physical card?
She said that was like 10 years ago. She like, I didn't upgrade it.
Technology is dated that far?
Yeah.
E-cards were 10. If you think about it, if you remember the AOL days, they used to have the little cards you can do and so forth.
And it sings to you and it lights up.
Now here's an adult moment. So those who kids are watching, I don't know why, after 8 o'clock, earmuff them for a quick moment. There is a site that actually has adult cards, because we're talking about National Creative Romance. You can actually send adult cards, and it doesn't necessarily mean there's sexual content as in pictures, but the content of words. Sometimes, especially with women, they always say you have to get them in the mood early and then you go for the kill later on that night. So because sometimes for us it's like a hunt. We gotta
Well, yeah, y'all gotta chase.
Yeah, we gotta chase. So we gotta go for instead of clubbing y'all over the head and dragging y'all back to the room, so you go for kill. There is
I done gave you every sign and you missed all the signs. Like I'm clubbing you man.
Whatever. Ain't no club in here.
I gotta roll over and play dead.
I need your game to step up the line.
I'm sitting like this right here.
We done talked about this all day long. We get home and he talk about I'm sleepy. Look, what was you know what? Yeah.
I got needs.
Yeah, exactly. I got needs.
I like you.
Yeah, Natasha, you coming on more.
Exactly.
But they have an adult site where you can actually send cards that, again, they're not picture cards, but they're actually words that actually spark that romance, spark that intimate thoughts, and so forth for the evening. That's one that's pretty interesting. National Pizza Day is on the 9th. And this is one for y'all good church folk. Good church folk. We don't have this in our church on our bulletin anyway. It is National Shut-In Visitation Day on the 11th. For those who are on the sick and shut-in list.
Come on, what about the ones that's always on the sick and shut-in list? Like Auntie, I'm gonna need you to get off that list. We're not sending you no more cards.
Go ahead and come to church.
No more offering. It's time to get off.
Wow.
I'm sorry. That was bad.
Yeah, that was bad.
Well, National Shut-In Visitation List is on the 11th.
That's it.
This is a good one. National Make a Friend Day is also on the 11th. National Make a Friend. So for, a lot of us are introverts and we don't like talking to people. But National Make a Friend Day is on the 11th.
We got a
So
culture
National
of
Make a Friend Day. You need to do that at work. Okay, moving right along.
We got a culture of no new friends, though.
Yeah, no new friends.
No time. No, it's natural to make a friend.
That's right.
If you're gonna call it, you
but I do like meeting people and fostering those relationships. It's just certain people in certain environments, i.e. work, I don't like, sometimes.
He like the separation of church and state.
You know what? Because don't get me wrong, I like couples. I like being around other couples. I like, especially if your energy isn't good, and I don't want to be around you. If you are negative Nancy, you always
on the power of networking. That's what I think of. In the work setting.
And I like that, but again, if your energy and if I'm around you and you're always complaining about this, that, and the third, and how this person, how this person got a promotion and you didn't get a promotion, and this, that, and I'm like, come on, stop being negative Nancy all the time. Change. You're here today. You got a daggone job. This makes me want to say, that's why I like talking to people sometimes. That's just
you're the salt.
Well, how am I the salt? Of the earth. I was about to say.
You also find other people who are like you.
Right. Like-minded.
I guess. Yeah. And there are some people that are like me, and thus they don't talk to me either. So, we don't talk.
Okay.
But
moving on.
But I like people. Hey.
You sure?
I promise you I do. I promise you I do. I didn't meet y'all out of nowhere.
I know.
Thank you. Somebody gets me out there. I'm pretty sure Crystal or somebody gets me out there. And my man Kevin, who just joined in, I know Kevin gets me. But yeah, we're gonna keep it moving. For those who have not joined in by now, y'all know, Natasha, I don't know if you know, but we have a APLMC Valentine's Getaway Cruise for 2019. Yes.
Hurry up, please.
So actually, we'll be going from February 11th to 16th of 2019. So that's almost literally a year away. We are doing it big. We are jumping aboard the Carnival Paradise and hitting up Cozumel, Mexico, and Grand Cayman. And the deposit per couple, now this is per couple, because I had people ask me, is that per person? No, it's per couple. It's only $100.
Nice.
And I say that because, did you know if you spent about $75 to $100 on putting it away per month, you would have that cruise paid off by November, October? Yes. So that is not bad at all. We spend and waste our money on 50 million different things, and I ain't pocket checking because exactly, and I can't stand it.
Add up quick.
Starbucks, Starbucks, Chick-fil-A. Starbucks is expensive, man. Dude. So yeah, if you save on your coffee for like 2-3 days a week out of the month, then you can save up that $100 and for both you and your spouse, and join us on the APLMC Valentine's Cruise Getaway. Again, we're having a sail-away party. We're doing some marriage and relationship seminars. We got games. And it's the fact that we're going to be on a boat in the fun in the sun. So I want to see all my couples there on the Carnival Paradise, February 11th through the February 16th of 2019. Not 18, y'all, but 2019. Go ahead and hit us up on www. I'm sorry, Cody. Cody told me stop saying it. Dating myself by saying www. Because she says, why you keep saying www? Hit us up at aplmcoaching.com for more information, and you can actually go ahead and request your cabin. So go ahead and put down your deposit, request your cabin. We want to see you on the ship because we are looking forward to having a lot of fun on the ship. So we want to see you in the building. WB&D said they will be there. Of course, Ty and Cody will be there. We're getting everybody. And if you're afraid of water, the boat don't. Come on. Because I've heard that too.
The ship is large enough.
I've heard
you'll be safe.
I can't swim. Who told you to jump in the water? You on a boat. You ain't got to get off the boat. Stay on the water. Stay on the boat.
It's a ship. It's bigger than a boat.
A ship. Yeah, I've been told that too.
Okay.
It is a ship. It is. It is a city on the ocean. So it is a ship. But we want to see you all APLMC Valentine's Cruise, February 11th through the 19th of 2019. If you also have not joined the text club, join the APLMC text club. Very simple to do. All you have to do is text the letters APLMC to the number 81680. Again, text the letters APLMC to the number 81680. It is our way of giving back. Well, I always consider it as our way of giving back to you, our listeners, you, our viewers, you, our clients, you, our friends, you, our family. I get so many compliments on the information that's actually sent out, asking, am I in your household? Am I in your marriage? No, I am not, but I am just telling you some of the things that I go through, some of the things that encourages me, some of the things that I actually learned along my journey, and I'm sharing those tidbits with you all Monday through Friday in a very short text. And that text just says, hey, we love you, and this is what you should do to kind of help encourage you in your marriage. Because I know for myself, I need encouragement sometimes.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes Cody and I go through.
And a lot of that material comes from what we engage in.
No, some of it does,
Yes,
but no, it don't.
Yes, it does.
I was about to laugh for a second. I was about like, no, it don't. Some of it
I
does.
don't have any challenges.
Yeah, don't
Girl,
be
bye.
fooled. Don't be fooled. Yeah, but yeah, no, it is some of the stuff that we actually go through, and some of the stuff that we've actually worked out, which is how we got into the position of being marriage coaches as it is now. As marriage coaches, it is our job to help and walk through some things that we've also been through, that you may have been through, or things that we may not have been through, that we just have a different look to be able to help you through your marriage journey. But again, we like to just change the whole thought process of marriage coaching, counseling. I have a licensed therapist sitting next to me, because I can't speak necessarily for you, but I know for me and Cody, we don't always want to see people when things have always hit the fan. Sometimes we want to help you just take your marriage, your relationship from one level to the next. Right. So we want to encourage people to, see a coach, see a counselor, see a therapist, while sometimes things are good, so they can help you build and give you the tools that you need to be able to have a successful marriage, a successful relationship. And that's pretty much what we do through our text messages. We like to give you all that free tidbit, because, there's not a lot of stuff out here that's free, but we want to give you something for free. And that's our way of giving back to you through the APLMC Text Club. And last but not least, the Man Cave. I don't know how many of you all know about Man Cave, but our Purpose for Life Marriage Coaching is doing Man Cave. Yes, Men About Nuptials is what Man Cave stands for. And so what it is, it's an opportunity for us husbands to get together. Women, you have your thing. Wives, y'all do your thing. But us husbands, we get an opportunity to get together once a month, for those who are in the Charlotte area. And every day on Facebook, because we got a Facebook group that is blocked out to all women that know we don't get in there and bash women. When we get in there, we get an opportunity to uplift one another and help each other through this thing called marriage that us men go through. We answer questions, we talk, we chat, and we have fun. We like to encourage people through the whole process of this thing of marriage. And so we're doing it for men. And so February 17th here in Charlotte, North Carolina, we actually have Man Cave, and we actually get in for about 2 hours from 2 to 4 p.m. and we just like to have a great time. So I encourage all men to join us. And again, if you are on Facebook, hit us up at APLMC Man Cave is the group, and request access, and we'll get you in there. So yes, that is all my announcements. That is all I have for the day. Good night. Show is over.
Really?
No, I'm joking. No, we actually have a great show. Again, for those who are just tuning in, you are tuning into the Ty and Cody on Purpose show. Usually we take a break about this time, but I'm not going to do it because we have a lot to cover.
Yes,
Today we are talking about relationships and careers. I mentioned earlier, and y'all know every week I post a question or some comments or some things that have to usually do with our topic of the week. And so my question I actually posted on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all those means of social media. If you're not a friend of ours on social media, hit us up, the Ty and Cody on Purpose page. Can your career affect your relationship? Can your career affect your relationship? We want to hear from you. 803-692-6370 is the number here in the studio. Again, we have a special guest with us who I'm getting ready to tell y'all who she is again, in case y'all missed her, because she is doing big things.
Yes,
Big things. Not just in the Charlotte area, but all up and down the East Coast and around the world. Yes, I'm speaking around the world into your existence.
Thank you.
She is a wife. She is a mother. She is a motivational speaker. She is an entrepreneur, a relationship coach, and a licensed therapist, Miss Natasha Oates. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And she's in the building. Son.
And she is in the building. Can we get a round of applause, Mr. Entertainment, for Miss Natasha Oates of the Up Company?
Yeah. Y'all got me so hyped.
Yes. Yeah, that's because you're a friend
So
of the
glad
show.
you're here.
Which means that I'm not that antisocial that I ain't made a new friend because you are a friend of the show. This is your second time.
in his
and we
feelings.
know that you listen in sometimes too. So, friend of the show, Miss Natasha Oates.
Because you could have been like, who is that? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Who that chick sitting next to him? She just sitting there making comments. But yeah, Miss Natasha Oates is in the building with us today on the Ty and Cody on Purpose show. And she called me and said, you know what, let's talk about relationships and careers. Because some people's careers be, causing some functions at home that may need to be straightened out.
Is it the careers or the person? But we'll get into that.
Yeah, we don't get in there because that's a good question. Because my question again, for those who missed it, is can your career affect your relationship or marriage? 803-692-6370 is the number in the studio. We are live on the air, WBNDradio.com and Facebook Live. I got a few responses that were actually on Instagram. One said, great question. Yes, it can. If you don't have the mature mindset and learn how to balance both career and marriage. And that was from B&B for Your Soul. And I said for your soul, not for your soul, but for your soul. Heath Tracy also says, only if you let it. Be Beautiful Creature just says, you know what? Yes, it can affect your relationship and your marriage. So, we're talking about relationships and careers and how all of it works together. And I know I can speak for myself personally. Cody and I, we dealt with some tough times for a moment when it came to jobs. And the reason I say that is because growing up, my mother, and I know she listens.
She does.
Was one. She's been in the radio, but she was one, and she was a teacher, but she stayed outside of the house so much, and it was because she was at church. She was doing work. Teachers got to do lessons plans. They got to do all this other stuff. And in my personal opinion, I may be wrong. I think it did affect her relationship with my father. I may be wrong, but from what I saw from a child looking in, because I didn't see the interaction because she was always so busy doing things outside the home when it came to work and things like that. Gotcha. So that's when I think of that, and so when Cody and I got married, I had to say, look, I know you got to work, and I know you have to work. Sometimes you have to bring some of that home. However, we can't do that on a regular basis because we need Ty and Cody time. We need family time. And I don't want for you to be in a position, I don't want to be in a position where they're taking so much of your time. You already spend 12 hours at work as it is. Now, I'm exaggerating, but you already spend, majority of your waking day at work as it is. It can't come home and affect what we have at home.
And that was a struggle for me because I was one and still am deep down in there, but I've learned how to create healthy boundaries when it comes to work, where that is where I gave my energy. That is where I gave because my work precedes me. It has my name on it. So I needed to make sure that every T was crossed, every I was dotted, and there was never a question of the quality of my work. And being married to him, he helped me to realize that I need to be more concerned about the quality of our marriage and our home life versus the quality of, what I'm putting out for the man.
That's good. Yeah. I like that.
So before I get into your comment, Ms. Tasha, Nicole HB on Facebook says, my teaching career almost ruined my first year of marriage. I had to learn to stop bringing work home. I was everything to my students, and my husband was a footnote. Jeez. It was a hard lesson. Wow. So what saith you, Miss Natasha?
Well, so a big part of why I brought this discussion out is becoming an entrepreneur is very eye-opening for me. And I think it's another level. Marriage in itself is beautiful, and yet it's one of the most challenging things you'll do in your life. And so is entrepreneurship, building a business from the ground up. And so to balance the two of those successfully is actually really rare. So I thought this would be a great discussion to have.
So, okay, speaking of entrepreneurship, or just jobs in general, because Cody and I have had this conversation, and correct me if I'm wrong, babe, but she's one who believes get all that out the way before you get married.
I wholeheartedly believe that. I believe that in our singleness, that is when we need to be hitting the ground, hitting the pavement, running, and doing everything that you possibly had dreamed to do Granted, you probably won't be able to do everything, but those top 5, those top 10, those things that are close to your heart, spend your singleness running after those things, because you don't have to consider, sharing your time. You don't have to consider being.
There's a key word you said in that, sharing. So when you're single and you're dating, is it not the same as married as far as the sharing part of it? Because it's almost like you have two different things, but then you're coming together when it's done.
To me, it's not as intense when you're just dating, especially if your mindset is just dating and not courting. To me, courting is you have your mindset on marriage. That is the goal. But if you're just dating just to have fun,
I'm gonna do me, you do you, and then
whatever comes of it comes of it.
Right.
Gotcha.
But that's how, at least that is what I'm coaching my daughter to do. Make sure that your focus is whatever you want to do. Please focus on doing that before you say I do.
Got you. So I want to make sure I'm hearing this right, because I'm liking it. I just want to make sure I'm hearing it right. So in other words, let's say my daughter, she wants to go to college. She wants to do X, Y, and Z. She's saying, it sounds like complete your dream, somewhat of your dream, so you don't have to
do the heavy lifting. Prior to.
And I was going to ask that question because to hear what you say in comparison to what you said, because do you ever stop chasing that dream? Do you ever get to the point where you say, now I'm satisfied that I can be in a steady relationship, I can be in a steady marriage, and not feel like I'm putting my life or those things on hold, so that way I can give my all to my relationship or my marriage?
Let me offer something.
Yeah.
So our identity, we have to be very careful that we don't get our worth in what we do, and even in being a married person and a parent.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that has a lot to do with helping with a balance.
Gotcha.
That it's what I do is not who I am.
Okay.
And people tend to get lost when they get married. They forget about their own needs, and they end up resenting the very thing that they love, their marriage.
Gotcha.
So having a balance is really important, but that takes a lot.
Work. Yeah,
it takes a lot.
And it's crazy because if you work a 9 to 5, which a lot of us do reluctantly, me, but they have this thing called work-life balance.
Yeah.
Does it truly exist though? Like,
I think for some corporations it's truly just a play on words.
Yeah,
I really think so.
Like, because they
make it sound good, but what they're truly requiring, they want all of you.
Right, because you think about it, you are at work or in your office. Most people who work a 9 to 5 or 7 to 4 or whatever, you spend the majority of your waking hours at work.
Yes, you do.
And then if you're anything like most people, you don't like your job. You got a horrendous amount of stories to come home with, and a lot of people may not necessarily bring physically work home papers, but they come home with the baggage of their day, and they unload it on their spouse, or they now are so drained from the things that they actually do, 9 to 5, that when they have no energy for their spouse, they have no energy for their kids, they have no energy for the things that they now. Mind you, again, you waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm talking about myself. I wake up about 5, and you leave out the house about 6:30, 7 o'clock. So there's hour and a half, 2 hours gone. You're at work from 7 to 4 or 7 to 5. If you're working overtime, depending on what your job is. So there again, you've already got 9, 10, 12 hours right there gone. You spend hour and a half maybe in traffic coming home, so you're already mad about that. And then you get home, and if you're anything like me, I tell my kids, don't talk to me for the first 10 minutes when I walk through this house. Now I don't want you to talk to me for there go another 20 minutes. So now you've already literally spent about 13 to 14 hours not dealing with nothing but you're pretty much what you've done the first half of the day. And if you try to get into bed by a decent time, which I don't, then you only have like 2 or 3 hours that you're spending with your spouse. Yeah. How does it work?
What do you make up for on the weekends?
Here's the kicker. So this is so good. So a real close friend of mine when I was in corporate America shared this with me, and I thought it was the greatest thing ever. Number one, you have to check out from home when you're at work. And that's where we miss the ball at. So I remember my wife, she wants to text during the day. She wants to call during the day. And before you know it, I've talked to her probably half the day while I'm at work. So then when I get home, it's like, oh my God. And God forbid if I'm arguing with her while I'm at work and then come home.
Yeah.
I shut her out completely. Don't call me, don't text me, don't even check on me. I'll be home.
Okay.
So when I get home, it's like, oh my God, I miss you. You see what I'm saying? Because we don't get a chance to miss each other.
Okay.
That was the first step. The second one was, he said, don't go home as soon as you get off work.
What?
This worked. Watch what happened. He said, when you get off work, find somewhere, I don't care where it is, you go where you want to go, and you take 15 to 30 minutes or an hour, and you wind down, get you a coffee, a Starbucks, whatever. You go, you sit down, you talk to yourself, whatever, and then you go home fresh.
So can the wife do that too, especially if kids are in the mix?
Absolutely.
You communicate, right? You communicate and you take turns.
And I'm telling you, because what happens is it gives your mind a chance to get away from work and not go home with work. You go somewhere and you find that moment of peace within that few amount of time, and then by the time you get back in your car, you almost forgot about work. You're in a good place, and now you go home. Wife miss you, husband miss you, kids miss you, and now it's like, there's my
Family
baby.
time.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally taking care of yourself before you start pouring out into anybody else.
Yeah.
And that's important to do.
That's interesting. And the reason I say that's interesting is I'm processing this. Cody's laughing. No. Cody's laughing because because I like to keep in contact with Cody throughout the day, and that's just me personally. Because
24 hours today.
Cody tries to make it seem like, you know what?
But babe, be honest. Didn't you tell me if I had my choice, I would be with you. I'd be right up under you 24 hours a day.
That's because I love my wife. That's just because I love my wife. And matter of fact, there was somebody. It was funny, and there was somebody on Facebook who actually said there should be, and I thought I wrote this down, but I apparently didn't. But there should be a bring your wife to work day. Now, see, apparently I'm not the only person that feels this. This was a wife that said this.
That's so sweet.
This was a wife that said this, not a husband, because her husband was like, no. I'd rather not. She was like, but I can bring you your coffee when you need coffee. I can, run your errands. I can staple papers for you, and I can just be there just to help you out throughout the day.
That is funny.
There I was like, pause time. I like texting you throughout the day and maybe talking to you maybe once or twice, but I don't need you sitting next to me all day, every day at work.
No, I can use that help.
Vacation?
I think I can use that help.
Yeah, right. We was on vacation, different story. We was at home, different story. I don't know if I want, just be sitting there going, oh, so this is what you do all day? Oh, no. That's just...
that's a good point, though. When you have two people who work together in a relationship or married, that's another level.
Yeah.
It really is. Because me and my wife, we've done that for 10 years now. So it's like we don't get away.
Yeah.
And it's like we're stuck like Chuck. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when we are, that's what we came with the 48-hour rule, because it's like we're around each other so much that we have to learn how to forget some things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And push some things through on a level of importance. What's important right now? Like if your feelings, like what's the value of your feelings right now? You need to get your feelings, because your feelings change. So if your feelings is getting ready to cause us a contract or whatever, suck it up.
That's hard. And that's the thing. There's no distinctive line sometimes. Everything's blurred. It's like it's not personal time and then business time here. It's like you're constantly mingling everything, and it takes intentionality, I'm sure, to really separate the two.
And that's what I was going to say. In regards to your comment just a moment ago, in regards to being in contact throughout the, having that balance and being in contact with each other throughout the day. I like personally being in contact with Cody throughout the day because we don't get that time in the evening. And to kind of necessarily rebuttal the guy you're mentioning of, the reason I say I personally don't believe in that is because I do believe that you should have a download period within the first 30 minutes to an hour of getting off work or walking through the door. But I think you should have that download period with your spouse. I don't think there's anything wrong with you saying, babe, how was your day? And this is where you talk about blurring the lines. After you get that done and over with, that first 30 minutes to an hour, you cut it. You don't talk about anything else about your work day for the rest of the day. Because I do like to know what goes on in my wife's day. Because it makes me feel a part of her life, because she does spend so much time away that I do want to be able to be a part of that life. So I think think it's good that you do download within the first 15, 30 minutes to an hour, and then you leave that completely aside. Then after that, then everything else is family, everything else is husband, everything else is wife, until you get time ready for go to bed, because you only have a short period of time before it's time to go to bed. And if you're anything like Cody, who likes going to bed at like 7:30, then
when have you ever let me go to sleep at 7:30?
I didn't say you do go to sleep at 7:30. I just said you like going to sleep at 7:30.
Until 11.
12 o'clock.
You going to bed already, but you just got home. I ain't seen you all day. Okay, babe, I'm gonna stay up.
Like this.
Tahia Martin says work-life balance is doable. It's called communication. As Natasha said, setting boundaries and walking in faith. Wow. You have to set those boundaries to say, you know what, like Mr. Entertainment says, like you leave, like in our house, we leave our shoes at the door because we have to leave in the dirt at the door. Cody came up with this thing when we first got married. Before we got married, she says, our home is our sanctuary. Our home is our bubble. So whatever goes on in the home, we don't want to bring in the stuff from the outside. We don't want to bring in the negativity. We don't want to bring in, and so you download, and this is why I say you download all that stuff at the door. Within the first 30 minutes to an hour with your spouse. Find out how your day was, you know, and because that way you're a part of them. Leave all that stuff there, and then that way after that you entering into your bubble, and you are thinking about nothing but your family life, your work. I mean, you know, the work is work and family is family. Because as Mr. Entertainment says, you have to leave, you know, family at home when you go to work because your boss don't care about it. 9 times out of 10, your coworkers don't care about it. It's not like you can take time off if you know you have an argument. Now I will say this though, I make my home my priority. And when I say that, if there's something not right in my house, guess what's going to have to wait? Work. There has been times where I've gotten a phone call. Literally, I've gotten a phone call at 6:15 in the morning. I'm supposed to be at work about 7, before 7. And I've gotten a call and said, hey, Tyron, can you X, Y, and Z? I'm sorry, I'm taking care of something right now because and I didn't say it because Cody and I are doing something. I'm taking care of something right now. I'll get in as soon as I can because we needed to fix whatever it was that we were fixing. Because I don't want to walk outside of that door and something, God forbid, happen to her. Something, God forbid, happen to me. And the last thing that we did walking out that door was, I don't like you, or I got an attitude, or whatever it is. So I make sure that I don't try to let my home life affect my work life, and I daggone sure try to make sure I don't let my work life affect my home life.
And I've done a better job by leaving my laptop in the car.
Do what you gotta do, okay?
Natasha made a great point before the show, and I was picking at her, but she made a great point. She said life and death is in the power of the tongue, and I think relationships, especially Christian marriages, or any marriage for that point, should have more prayer together as husband and wives. Praying, holding hands together as a family, I think really brings the brick and mortar together solid in the marriage. It also brings Christ into the actual nucleus of that whole relationship. And as you start speaking those things, you start seeing them manifest. So how you communicate with one another is what manifests in your marriage. So if it's negative, guess what you're going to get?
Oh, yeah.
Negative. Exactly.
Speaking of that, I think a disclaimer, sometimes we have our bad days, like really bad days, and we don't want to be bothered. We don't want that check-in immediately at the house. So it's still good to say things like, you know what, let me just get 15 minutes to myself. And then, you know, I'll come back and check in. But we have to do a better job of taking care of ourselves. Otherwise, we'll be grumpy, moody, and, you know,
and as
listen,
like we don't want to give you that space sometimes. Like I'm guilty of it sometimes. Like I've heard it, and it's like, no, I want it right now. We're gonna talk right now.
Right.
And it's like
I used to be that way.
You might want to let it.
I used to be that way because Cody was like, I don't want to say that, and I'm gonna regret. So
I'm you.
Some people
don't get the warning.
But in the back of my mind, I'd be like, say it though, because if you say it, you know you mean it. So just go ahead. No. But I like when Nicole said to go ahead.
Nicole says our famous line for when work issues are taking over evening conversations is, "Make this the last thing you say about work." They check each other when it's needed.
Because like Tahia said, as well as Natasha said, it's about communication. And so if you have one of those really bad days, if you had and you just don't feel like talking, or if you have anything and you talk about it and you say, you know what, this is gonna have to work for me. I don't want to talk about this no more. we talked about work. Now I'm dealing with home, or you have to set those boundaries so you don't actually start to, intertwine that work-life relationship. And I think if you start to set those boundaries with your spouse and you make what works for you, because what works for me may not work for you.
Well, let me ask you this though.
Vice versa.
It's like a boxer, right? So you've trained me, but then once I get in the ring, sometimes the training go out the door. And you know me, I'm first partaker, right? So I'm pretty intelligent, but in the heat of the moment, sometimes what I stood for is like, am I really doing this right now?
Yeah, I mean, and that's where you mentioned that prayer life, because that's something that I know I personally had to pray about. But as being a marriage coach, I can't necessarily sit here and tell you something and not do it myself. And there are times where I have to catch myself because, like you said, I'm in the heat of the moment. I have to sit there and go to myself and you know what, put yourself in coach mode, Tyron, because you have to do what is purposeful for your relationship. We're about doing things on purpose.
Absolutely.
And I know if I'm getting ready to say something or if I'm getting ready to do something that may not be conducive to the success of my marriage or a good positive atmosphere in my household, then I have to change my mindset of what it is that I'm getting ready to do. And I have to pray about that thing. Because if I ain't pray about that thing, it will come up as often as it reaches my mind. It will come out of my mouth, and we would be sitting here fighting, and y'all would not have Cody next to me. It would be the Tyron and Natasha in the show, because Cody would be like, you know what, I ain't going in there with you.
We got to get out of our feelings. But I love the saying, humble pie tastes so good, right? Because we really have to put a distance with just being right all the time versus really trying to hear each other and work through it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because you'll be writing alone.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right.
So to your point earlier, so is making a living more important than actually building your family? Because that's what I think some people actually struggle with. Because some people struggle with the fact of, but this is my job, and I have to bring this home to make this money. So is it more important than actually building a family?
I think it depends on the season of your life. I go back to what I said in the beginning, For me, I can't, in my opinion, it's hard for me to say I am successful in having a quality family if I can't provide what I want to provide for them, be it emotional, physical, psychological, and material. That's just me.
Well, one of my biggest fears as an entrepreneur, and something that keeps me accountable, is that I not create this tremendous career and lose my family as I'm building it and get there. Because it's all, what does it even matter? I mean, yeah, it's nice, but the sacrifice of that is not worth it. So
I honestly think it comes with growth, truth be told. And the reason I say that is because I know with a lot of people who are, straight out of college into maybe their mid-30s, they are focus-driven when it comes to their career. As a lot of people say, they about getting that bag. They're about trying to get that money. And then as you get older, you start to realize sometimes the companionship, sometimes the having the kids, some of those things start to take more precedence over getting that bag, getting that money. And so thus you're thinking more of family, you're thinking more of relationship, you're thinking more of, I don't want to die lonely by myself, or I want to have that long lasting relationship, instead of chasing the money all the time. And so I think it's a thing, in my personal opinion, I think it's just a thing of growth. As you get older, you start to reprioritize your thoughts, you start to reprioritize what's important to you. Because like I said, I'll tell y'all know I ain't got no hold back, and y'all know people who are on my 9 to 5 listen and watch this show. My mindset when it comes to my 9 to 5 most of the time is I don't care no more. Like this, my family is more important, and my sanity is more important than this particular job. And so, and I promise you, I am trying to get to the point where a Purposeful Life marriage coaching is my 9 to 5 because it is something that I enjoy and something that I love doing, and it's something that I would not take home, but I live it though. But I live that because I want my own marriage to be successful.
I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people need to shift their level of importance, because when you work to live, or whatever that word I want to say,
live to work,
live to work, to work to live.
You gotta find to a point where there's not a need for that. It has to be at some point you have to want to do it, right? So I remember a few years back where the wife didn't have to work. She made a choice that I want to go out and do something. Now it's like she's pushed, or you know what I'm trying to say? So I like what you said, because when we get that intentional mindset of workplace, I don't need this, I'm doing this because I want to be here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's that freedom that you give yourself at some point in your life, where if you piss me off, you're gonna see I don't need this.
Well,
Quit in a heartbeat.
but you know what? The other side of that, if something happens to you, they're gonna replace you
Anyway,
You are a number.
So
You are a number.
I have an exit strategy, so don't make me use it.
exactly.
And I just want to encourage the entrepreneurs who are listening. Something that I'm learning as of late is it's one thing to be building your business as a successful business. And it's another thing to build it as a successful business with boundaries, so that it doesn't take all of your time and all of your mental energy.
I like that.
Yeah, because they say that being an entrepreneur, of course, you work a 9 to 5, you work 40 hours a week. As an entrepreneur, you work 80 hours at minimum.
80 plus.
A week. At minimum, you work 80 hours a week. So thus, you have even less time. While, yeah, you may be spending time from home. And yeah, you may be able to still pick up the kids. And yeah, you may be able to take a little quickie during the middle of the day, and, you know, with your husband or wife or whatever. But you're still spending all of that time, those nights, those hours, those mornings, you know, those weekends, where as an entrepreneur, grinding that you are, you know. So before, because I know we're getting ready to wrap up, but let me ask you this quick question, Natasha. As an entrepreneur, is it easier, is it harder to be able to have that work-life balance when it comes to being an entrepreneur in comparison to working at 9 to 5?
Oh, that's easy. It's absolutely harder. It's an additional. I'm trying to put it into words. Mentally, what happens? Your mind is constantly thinking about strategy to build the business.
Right.
It's not just the hours of putting time in. So while you're creating boundaries around the time frames, you're also as a therapist, I'm giving myself mental exercises to shut it off.
Right. Exactly.
Gotcha.
Which isn't always easy to do.
No,
Right?
not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. And people are getting sick and they're successful. We say, oh, they're doing so great. They got this great business, making all this money, and they hate their lives.
Yeah.
You wouldn't imagine the amount of people that I see who are super successful in their businesses, but they hate the way that they created it. It becomes their own prison. Their success becomes their own prison, and they can't share that with anyone because no one would get it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because sometimes I even wonder about my managers and stuff. Not my manager personally, but managers and upper management at work. I'd be like, do you hate your job, or do you just hate or do you just not have
both
at home?
They hate
your
their
home life
job,
suck.
and because they work so hard to make their job great, they hate home because they never been there to fix it.
Right.
So now it's like when I come to work, I'm mad because when I left home, I was pissed off.
Yeah.
Now I'm taking out on you. That's why I asked the question earlier, what is more real? And the reason why I said it is because what you don't see affects you.
Yeah.
So you don't know what I go through, and you can't read my mind. So when I'm lashing out at you, it's not what you see, it's what you don't see that affected me.
Yep.
But that's another story.
It's usually a symptom that you're actually getting, but you ain't actually getting the underlying root issue or root cause. So I say, to wrap everything up for the most part, that you have to be conscious, and we talked about communication. Tahia mentioned it, Natasha mentioned it, Miss Entertainment mentioned it, Cody mentioned it. You have to communicate with your spouse about this work-life balance thing. You have to learn how to leave and build your bubble, leave work at work, leave home at home, so that way you can give your spouse the attention, the time, and the effort that is needed in order to be successful in your marriage. Because again, it's all about being purposeful. We live life on purpose, and we want to love on purpose. That's our motto for a purposeful life marriage. So you have to be intentional by setting those boundaries, communicating with one another, and having that good prayer life. So that way you know, just as Nicole mentioned earlier, that this is the last thing we're going to say about marriage, and we're going to keep, about work, and we're going to keep it, not about marriage, but about work, and we're going to keep it moving with the rest of our day, because we don't want it to overwhelm and overcross one another. So don't give your spouse, and I'll even say, don't give your families your last of you. Save some of yourself for your spouse somewhere throughout the day, that when you go home, they can still get a few hours of the best of you rather than the worst of you.
I like that. Don't come home and give your family leftovers, man. I like that.
Yes. Don't give them leftovers because it is no good. You like sometimes leftovers can be good. Leftover food can be good, but not leftover attitudes and energy and
True.
So
you know my mind.
Exactly. I always think about food. So we always. But anywho, I so appreciate y'all for tuning in. I appreciate Natasha for being here. Natasha, thank you for coming in. You were such a friend of the show, and we know you are doing major, major, major things. How can the Ty and Cody on Purpose family reach you and learn more about the Up Company?
Yeah.
Yay! I would love that. Definitely, I'm on LinkedIn. Natasha Inspires on Facebook. And check Fox 46 tomorrow morning at 7:15. I'll be a guest on the Good Day Charlotte show.
Awesome.
Charlotte family, be sure to tune in to Fox 46. And if you are not in the Charlotte area, they actually have a website, and they actually do their broadcasting live on the internet as well. Okay. So you can check her out on there as well.
And one last thing too, I left open some really nice tickets for the Love That Lasts Valentine's Gala that I'm hosting on Saturday. So if you go to Eventbrite or to lovethatlast.org, you can still get you some tickets.
So what is, I know we run out of time, but what is the Love That Lasts Gala? I need to know. So I need some loving that lasts all night.
All night, okay.
All night. Sorry, go ahead.
So what we're having, it's a charity event to help the homeless students at Cochran Collegiate Academy. That's my old stomping grounds, old neighborhood.
My stomping grounds.
Yes. But really classy affair. We're going to have instructors come in and teach the couples urban ballroom step. So it's gonna be
urban ballroom.
Urban ballroom step. I think Detroit, Chicago.
Nice.
Yeah.
When she said urban, I was thinking twerking.
You know what?
Ballroom and twerking. Don't
when you said urban,
our people, we get there. Everybody else looking like that ain't what you doing.
Pump it.
You know what?
We're not doing that. We're not. It's a formal. It's formal wear.
Okay,
red carpet. It's not quite that.
So she did say it is a gala or gala.
Yes.
So yeah.
And when is it?
It's actually this coming Saturday.
This Saturday. Okay.
At 8:30.
Yes.
So check out the website.
If you have not gotten your tickets, Natasha says go to eventbrite.com and look up
Love That Lasts.
Love That Lasts. If you are in the Charlotte, even if you're not in the Charlotte area, I know some people listen from Columbia, South Carolina, people from Greensboro. If you are in the surrounding metro, Charlotte, North Carolina, South Carolina area, hit up the Love That Lasts. Hit her up on her website. Go to eventbrite.com, the Love That Lasts, so you can get tickets to the gala. If you don't have any husbands, wives, and I say wives too, husbands and wives. Valentine's Day is next week. This is a great opportunity for you to do something. You can dress up. Cody likes when I dress up, so
I sure do.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is an opportunity for you to dress up, and Cody likes to dance. We may be there. Cody likes to dance, and she likes when I dress up. So that just kills two birds with one stone, and I ain't gotta buy her no gift. No, I'm joking.
You gotta slide her in VIP. You know.
Oh, she got VIP too.
Yeah. Yes, we're getting the Moet.
So nice. So this is going to be a classy affair, y'all. If y'all have not gotten your tickets, go to eventbrite.com. I Love That Last. And get your tickets for this great event that Miss Natasha is hosting for part of the Up Company. Correct?
Yes, absolutely.
And don't forget to catch her on Good Day Charlotte tomorrow morning, 7:15 in the a.m.
Yeah.
Yes, or set your DVRs, because I'd be at work. Set your DVRs so you can see what she's talking about there. Miss Natasha, we appreciate you coming in to the Ty and Cody on Purpose show. As I've always said before, you are more than welcome to come back. If you also want to be a guest on the Ty and Cody on Purpose show, hit us up at coach@aplmcoaching.com. That is coach@aplmcoaching.com. And we in the building as well. Don't forget, go ahead and reserve your cabin for the Valentine's Getaway of 2019 for Purposeful Life Marriage Coaching. We are here. Across from me, next to my right, to my left. And as I always say, live purposefully
and love purposefully.
Ty and Cody on purpose. Peace. Facebook family, Facebook family, Facebook family. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. We appreciate your comments. We appreciate y'all being so open and candid about your own relationships and thoughts and so forth. Again, as I always say, I couldn't do this show without you all. Cody couldn't do this without you all, because you all make this go so smoothly for us. And we appreciate and we love you for it. We hope that you are getting something positive for it. For those who are in the Charlotte area, please do not forget to hit up eventbrite.com. I love that last for the gala that Natasha is talking about this coming Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Also, don't forget to hit her up on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I don't even know if she have all them things, but I'm assuming she does. I know she's on Facebook.
Yes. Yes.
But so hit her up at the Up Company and Fox News Rising in the morning, 7:15. Natasha, we appreciate you for coming in.
Thank you. You're welcome back anytime.
This is so fun.
Anytime.
Yes. Facebook. We will see you all next week. We love you. Peace.